back against the Spurs last week became back-to-back Steph Curry masterclasses. Wednesday night, Steph put on a show, 46 points, taking over the second half and carrying Golden State past San Antonio. Just a pure Curry takeover. And it was only the beginning, because the next game, on Friday, Steph kept that wave rolling with a cool 49, including 31 in the second half, and a game-winning free throws to sweep the Spurs in San Antonio to top off an NBA Cup thriller. The chef joined MJ as the only players with 35-plus and back-to-back 45-point games. But against New Orleans Sunday, the hot hand came from elsewhere. Steph only had 3 points in that first half. Moody came out swinging, shooting 7 of 8 from 3. Moody joins Klay Thompson and Steph Curry as the only Warrior players to make 7+ threes in a single quarter.
And I don't know if the Warriors have had a better soldier over the years than him. He just never complains.
All right, now another story for Draymond. Herb Jones drives the lane. Draymond gets the foul here. And watch this. So Draymond gets into it here with a fan chirping at Draymond. Here's Draymond after the game about it.
It was a good joke at first, but you can't keep calling me a woman. I look like a woman. Do I look like a woman?
She's a very good rebounder.
Yeah, for sure. But at least Lisa Leslie was a good rebounder too. She older than me.
So you see security came to talk to the gentleman there. Later in the third, Al Horford finds Steph for 3. Curry finished with 9 and 3. Warriors still win 124 to 106. All right, after a tough 24-point loss to OKC, this team, they took their next 3 games pretty seriously here. So, Mark, what's your takeaway from this stretch from the Warriors?
You know, a week ago, things looked pretty bad, the way they started on this road trip and the way the Warriors have played these past 3 games. I mean, obviously, Steph put on his cape in San Antonio, but those were 2 great wins. Typically, when you play a team like New Orleans, they're going to be in a high when, you got a new coach coming in, and they figured that one out with a great team win. So I think this was, with new pieces like Al and still trying to figure out their way without Kuminga, I think this was just a very good, great week mentally and for the Warriors.
I was watching Steph's interview on Saturday night because it was on Prime when he was talking to the Amazon host, and he goes, look, we're not the only team that's had a really bad game in Oklahoma City. And it got me to remember how much these guys have been throughout this run. Steph, Draymond, they've been through these stretches before where they look terrible and it looks like the wheels are going to fall off, and no one panics. So turning it around and having 3 great games after having that trough and that terrible game in Oklahoma City, that it's not surprising because these guys are such veterans.
David?
Yeah, I mean, this has been a really weird season already for the Warriors. They played like 10 road games already. They've beaten LA in LA. They've beaten the Nuggets. They've beaten these Spurs teams. They have inexplicable losses against Indiana and Bucks. Steph gets sick. And then you go to San Antonio and you have what is the blueprint for the Warriors to believe they could beat anybody not named OKC, which is Draymond getting in Wemby's face and showing that he's equipped to defend anybody, including Victor Wembanyama. He forced a lot of turnovers when he was guarding him. Jimmy Butler was helping on those pick and rolls. Also, Steph went crazy. But this is how the Warriors win these big games. It is the intensity of somebody like Draymond in these situations, getting one of the, I think, 2 players to block Wemby all year. That is what this Warriors team is built on for all these last few years, and what they're going to use to sort of ride the wave after this crazy sort of road trip and early season stuff is over with. But one more thing about Draymond. It's okay if somebody compares you to Angel Reese. Like, she's a good player. You can take it as kind of a compliment as you get, getting rebounds and putbacks.
Yeah. The interaction, though, I mean, look, to Draymond's credit, you know what I mean? Like, you don't know what that person's going to do or say to you, but clearly you can tell that he took it in stride.
Courtney and security handled it good, too. Courtney the ref.
Oh, Courtney Kirkland? Yeah, I thought he did a good job. And the security guy, for sure. All right.
Dub Nation, gather around because the rumor mill is swirling and this one could change everything. I'm talking about the possibility of Anthony Davis joining the Warriors. Yes, AD, a 10-time All-Star, a defensive anchor, a front court beast. The idea? Golden State acquiring AD to pair with Stephen Curry and Jimmy Butler and potentially reshape the title picture. Let's unpack this, react to it, and I'll tell you why I like the move for the Warriors. First, the setting. The Warriors are 7-13 to start the season, middle of the pack. They wrapped last year at 48-34, but as you know, this league doesn't wait. Meanwhile, The Dallas Mavericks fired their GM Nico Harrison, and their record sits among the worst. Davis is in the crosshairs of speculation. Sources report the Mavericks could be open to deals. Former Warriors teammate DeMarcus Cousins even laid it out. AD to the Warriors would be interesting. The whispers are strong. Now let's dive into why this makes sense for the Warriors. They have Curry still at the peak of his craft, Butler bringing two-way intensity, Draymond Green anchoring defense. What they've lacked consistently, a dominant physical big who can defend the paint, rebound at a high level, and give them another go-to in crunch time. Davis, even with the injury concerns, is averaging roughly 20.8 points and 10.2 boards this season, with the block average shooting about 52% from the field. Imagine the lineup: Curry, Butler, Davis. That's a monster core. From the Warriors' angle, the narrative gets even juicier. The club wants to compete now. They've looked flashier some nights, vulnerable on others. The Western Conference is brutal. If they believe this is the moment, then adding a player like AD signals serious intent. It says, we're not rebuilding, we're contending. It sends a message. But hold up, this isn't a done deal. Why there are big red flags? 1. Davis is 32 and had significant injury issues. He's under a contract that carries $54.1 million this season, $58.5 million next, and the player option is $62.8 million for 2027-28. That kind of money and risk means the Warriors would have to give up serious assets. Reports say Dallas would want at least Jonathan Kuminga, maybe Draymond Green, plus picks. That's a huge price. 2. The fit. Can Golden State absorb AD's contract and still retain flexibility? Can they integrate a big who needs touches, space, and may impact shot-creating dynamics? Analysts say yes in theory, but in practice there are concerns. 3. Chemistry. Adding one big piece doesn't guarantee gold rings. The Warriors' identity has always been ball movement, shooting, pace. A shift to a more half-court, big-man grind could force a change in style. So what's my reaction after weighing it all? I'm optimistic. I love the idea of AD in a Warriors uniform. I like the boldness of it. I believe this group still has 1 or 2 great runs left, and this would be the best chance. Yes, there's risk. Wars for rings always carry risk, but the reward could be enormous. I'd personally pull the trigger if I'm in the front office. Trade value is high, impending deadline looms, Mavericks squealing. This could be Golden State's all-in moment. In conclusion, for the Warriors, pursuing Anthony Davis would be a definitive signal that they believe in this window. It would complement Curry's brilliance, bolster the front court, and give them a different kind of toughness. If it happened, I believe the Warriors' chances of competing for a title go up significantly. And as a fan, I'm all in for it. Now I want to hear from you, Dub Nation. What do you think? Should the Warriors trade for Anthony Davis? What would you be willing to give up for him? Comment your thoughts below, hit like if you're feeling this potential move, smash subscribe if you want more Warriors Nation news, and let's get the conversation going.